Hello and welcome to our first ever video podcast. We're going to be doing some podcasts now just to have some conversations about current situations and what's going on. My name is Jack Revis from Revis & Co. I'm joined today by Robyn Moore. Say hello, Robyn.
Hello.
And Kim Ritchie, who are both also from Revis & Co. So we're just going to be talking today about current situation for businesses, how that's affecting them, and just sort of some general bits and bobs about us as well in the company. So if we go straight on to the first point, I'm just going to talk about, so aimed at you two guys, and so how are you guys finding the current situation, like what's going on and everything with coronavirus and businesses, and I don't know who wants to chip in first.
Robyn? Yeah, it's scary. It is definitely scary, all what's going on. But I want to remain hopeful.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't want to get bogged down in it, but just trying to carry on as normal as we can, really.
Yeah.
Keep calm, carry on. Yeah, literally.
Calm. Yeah. So yeah, no, it is definitely a scary situation. What about you, Kim? What are you thinking? You sort of.
Well, I take it really seriously. Maybe I'm a bit off, but I'm taking it really seriously. I'm not so much worried about my own health, but just maybe my older family or older friends around me, people like that, and people are on their own, and a lot of my family are spread out, so it's hard for me to, I'm not seeing any of my family at the moment, so it's quite hard, and I worry if anything happens, but I'm just worried.
There's a worry.
Yeah,
no, it's a weird situation, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
But, so I've said a couple of times, it's kind of an exciting situation at the same time in a weird way, I feel.
Yeah, different.
It's
really surreal. If you stop and think about it, it feels really surreal.
Yeah. It's just weird, isn't it? Just really weird. So yeah, especially for us, business wise, which moves us on to our next point. Is actually obviously we've shut our office. We've never shut our office before, except obviously for team that have bank holidays, but our office is actually shut fully. It's never been like that, and we're all now working from home, which you can clearly see because we're all on a video chat. So how are you guys finding that? Because obviously that's a completely different dynamic to being in an office normally. Obviously not got a huge team, but with people and people around you going out. So how are you finding the change in dynamic?
I find it quite easy because everything's set up. Obviously we've all got our work computers at home, so everything is how I've got it at work. So system-wise, it's fine. A lot of people are emailing and submitting on receipt banks, so that side of it's okay. There's the odd bit of paperwork I've brought home, and I think there's only one thing I've needed that I haven't had, but I've been able to get the information from the client. Okay. So I find that side of it easy, but obviously I've got an 8-year-old who needs constant attention, constant food. So it's quite stressful. I'm trying to really focus on my work and concentrate, but he's talking about Fortnite, YouTube, Harry Potter, anything like that. And I'm like, just give me a minute. So, but it's a learning curve, and I'm just getting used to it. It's only week 2. Feels like week 10, but I think it's week 2.
What are we on?
But
week 3.
In the same boat, so we speak and give each other advice and support. So
definitely. Yes. Yeah. What about you, Robyn? How are you finding the work from home sitch?
Yeah, it is exactly the same as being in the office in terms of the computers, and obviously we've got access to the server and everything. So in that respect, it's no different. But it's definitely, I'm finding it a bit lonely always, because I'm in a completely separate room to anyone else in the house, and it's just I get the cats now, and that's about it. So
I guess it's with you as well. You've got other people in the house who aren't working, so I guess it's quite hard. You might think, I might want to go do something else, because it can be easy distracted, but it's one of those things, I guess, isn't it? So same with me. So obviously I've got a housemate who we share an office upstairs, got a small little box room, but because we're both working, it's quite good, and there's no real distractions, I guess. And as you say, everything's set up. It's easy to work with all the cloud stuff nowadays. It's no real different. We've got our new phone system. That was my biggest worry when we did it, was the phones and what we're going to do. But that seems to be going well. There's obviously still some learning curves on that, but it is working. So no, I think you both hit it on the nail on the head there. Really, it's definitely a different way of working.
You miss having to laugh together as well, and
Yeah,
Things like
yeah. Because we use Teams to communicate, so I think it's good to keep talking to each other. Also try and remember it does come across more blunt, which kind of reminded me on Teams just by saying.
Have you Jack out?
So just wait, because normally in the office, if you ask me if you ask me a question, I'll just go yes. Like it doesn't sound blunt.
Yeah.
Like, but on Teams, I'll just put.
Because you're with people, you can sense their mood as well. Whereas on
you can't. So there is that sort of that dynamic there, which is different. And I guess also for me, my housemate, he's on the phone all the time. Like how he gets any work done, constantly on the phone. But so that's taken a bit of because obviously in the office people are on the phone, but when I've got someone who's on the phone here and vice versa, and that can be a bit difficult sometimes. Like sometimes I'll come down here and have a call or something, and he'll leave, we'll go somewhere else. So, but that's the only other weird thing, I guess. So we'll look into the picture. We should come back in a second. Okay, cool. That's a pretty good day. I don't think there's much else to say on that. But okay, so what are your guys' thoughts currently on? So obviously, recently the government has released a lot of business support for all of our clients and what's going on. So what was your initial thoughts, I guess, on the support the government have released, I guess, and what they're offering businesses and self-employed?
Well, I spoke to my friend about this the other day. She works for HMRC, and I personally think what the government are giving is pretty amazing. Obviously, some people are missing out. Like I said this to you, I think directors maybe are missing out of it and newly self-employed people, but I don't know how they can please every single person. But I'm lucky, I'm working, so I'm still getting paid my normal amount and working. But if I was furloughed and I was getting 80% of my wage and not having to work, I'd be more than happy. I know it's quite a long time and you might get bored, but I don't think people should really complain about that, in my opinion. And I think what they've done in such a short space of time is like amazing how they've turned it all around. And I think people being really negative about, it's not ready yet, and I think they've just made it up.
So, they've got to like set it up and everything, haven't they?
It's a hard one, isn't it? Because I don't know what you think as well, Robyn, if you agree on that.
Well, I got my letter today as well, so I was quite chuffed with that.
But yeah, it's weird. I agree. I think that what has been released is fantastic. We do have a few clients that there isn't anything for, unfortunately, because they don't fall into certain categories. But as you say, you can't please everybody, and what they have released is actually what's fantastic. Obviously, it come out in dribs and drabs. I think that was more of the annoying bit about it. But I could say they're having to make it up, basically, and figure out what they're.
But I think they've done that on feedback that's come back.
Okay.
So when they've done stuff and then people have maybe kicked off about it, they've then looked at certain things. So I think they are helping as much as they can. Because
obviously the self-employment scheme was that was later than the most, but they said that was the most complicated one to work out, so.
Yeah. And I understand that one is like the most complicated because they're like self-employed, so they're generating their own income, they're in charge of it. So that one is it confuses me a little bit, but I think what they've done has been very they've tried to be very inclusive in what they've done.
Yeah, I think.
And I really respect that.
Yeah, definitely. It's I think there's enough funding out there for majority of people, and if there's not, obviously there is the other stuff is normal, like the universal credits. So if people can't get something else, they should be able to get something.
There's lots of options. So
yeah, but there's still a small, minority that aren't going to get anything at the moment. Who knows? They might release something else, but I think they're pretty much done with that. Even though saying that they did release more yesterday for charities and so on. So like you say, they're taking feedback, and as soon as people get something in place, they're sort of trying to help out. So I think that's quite a good thing there. But okay, that's a good thing. So obviously you guys talk to clients all the time, I'd like to think, and your ongoing clients. I think what kind of conversations you guys had with them, like how are they finding it currently? I know I spoke to a lot of people because it's what I'm trying to focus on, but what have they been saying? So, like you've got like your regular clients, because you normally have a good relationship with them. So what are they sort of saying, like, what's
Yeah, I think most of mine are okay. Like, they're not stressing too much, but under the circumstances anyway. But they're all like just really glad that we're helping as much as we are, especially you with all your emails and like everything that's going on. So
that's good to hear. Yeah, it's good to hear that they're not stressing too much, because I think it is really easy to stress about all this right now. I think if you start to really stress about it, you're going to just, it's a slippery slope. And as soon as you start to stress, I think you're done. Like, a lot of it's out of people's hands. They can't really control it. I guess probably where they're sort of upset, not upset. What about you, Kim? Have you had many conversations?
It varies because I've got so many different types of clients, and some of them are still working away and fine in that sense.
Yeah.
Some, I don't know, like hospitality in there, they've shut down completely, so they're really worried about everything. And obviously it's that gap between closing and the money coming in that's just trying to hope that that's not going to be a big gap so they can keep going. And a lot of people are worried about paying their employees, which is a good thing, so making sure that they're okay. But it's just hopefully they all know that we're here, and got any queries we can get the answer, or look for the answer at least, and whatever help we know about, we're telling them anyway. So
yeah, that's fair. I think by now they should all know that we're trying to help, because they're getting bombarded with emails from me most of the days. So I'm sure some of them at some point might get annoyed, but I'm sure I know most of them appreciate the help. So I've spoken to as well. I think I've spoken to quite a few clients that even aren't just like my general clients. So, and as you say, some of them are worried. There is a few that are worried, but I've had quite a good conversation. Some of them sort of, swinging that round, so they're not as worried anymore, because they've actually thought, okay, let's take the blinders off. Like I said a couple times in the webinar, and they're actually starting to look further forwards rather than just right now. Oh no, we're shut. That's all they were looking at. No income coming in. What we're going to do? But now we look forwards. So I think that's where a few of them initially, I think it was just a shock. I reckon for a lot of them, of just we've got no money coming in. What we're going to do? So, but but it's good to hear that most of them are doing well. Trying to.
Although I had one client say today, I tried to get him. Well, I got him on Receipt Bank, helped him get that all set up.
Yeah.
Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Keep getting calls through. Got him set up on Receipt Bank, and I think he found it a bit stressful. There's a bit of swearing. In the end, he said, "Oh, he'd rather be at work." But we got there in the end, so he's all right.
Got in the end, yeah. So a lot of them are now taking up Receipt Bank, because obviously we're not taking any paperwork, so it's the only way they can get it to us. It is really simple, but obviously for some people it is harder.
Getting the app on the phone was the hard bit.
Getting the app on the phone. So the software itself is really easy. If you don't know how to install an app, that might be where we get stuck. I don't know, maybe we can create a video on how to install apps on various phones. Okay, that's good though. Okay, so we've sort of touched on this actually, but the last point I was going to talk about was, what kind of advice would you give your clients right now, excluding like the government grants and all that? Obviously, an advice is, let's look at the government grants, but what other general advice, even if like coronavirus wasn't there, what kind of advice you're trying to give them right now for their company and all this? What are you sort of thinking on?
I had one yesterday I spoke to, and obviously he's found himself a lot of free time, wasn't sure whether to furlough or kind of stay and do some work, so we had a discussion around that. And for a long time he hasn't had the time to get set up online, so kind of spoke about using this time as the opportunity to get that set up, get it going, work on that, because once he gets back into trading properly, he's not going to have that time, and so this might be a one only time he gets.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to say to a lot of directors who are like, as soon as they come out that could furloughed, a lot of them are like, right, let's furlough ourselves. Like, well, actually, like, look at the time. What can you do right now with that time? So that's a great example there. Trying to get some selling online when they couldn't before. But yeah, that's brilliant. What about you, Robyn? What are you sort of thinking of?
Yeah, just basically the same. So they just take, like, if you can afford it, take the time to work on your business, and like, even if it's the website, talking to customers, like generating that income that might not only get you a bit more money now, but might like invest in your business a bit more, and like future sales might be even better. So try and come out of it in a better position.
Yeah.
I like your point about talking to customers and stuff, because if right now, if you have good relationships with your customers, and then all of a sudden you just stop talking to them because you're furloughed, they might move elsewhere to someone that is talking. When you come out of this, they're not going to be there anymore. So that's quite a good point of try and keeping in touch with people. If it's as simple as an email a week, just say, no, how are you getting on? Hope you guys are doing well. Just so you know, we're looking at doing this in the future, or this or that, or we've worked on this with you previously. Maybe you didn't know we also do this. So I think that's definitely something to look at and keep going with. So I like that. Okay. Well, brilliant. Well, is there anything else anybody wants to touch on our first little podcast, or we're all happy?
All happy.
All happy. Good. I think it was quite good. Well, we don't know how long we're going to be, not long, how often we're going to be doing these yet, but check out our YouTube channel and we'll put them up on there. We might even try and get some clients involved at some point, so they can come and join us and have a chat and go from there. So, but for now, we're all done. Kim's going, so.
No, I'll keep it cool. As my child would say, like, subscribe and hit that notification button.
There you go. She knows what she's doing. Perfect. Cheers, we'll speak to you all soon.
Bye.
Bye.